Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. First things first, I want to give a big thank you to all of you newcomers who are viewing, liking, and subscribing. It really means a lot, and I really do appreciate it. I didn't expect this content to resonate with so many people out there, but it seems like there is a large audience of people who are not seeing these collapses being predicted by a lot of YouTube channels. Now, don't get me wrong, I hope these predictions are right. I really do. But at the end of the day, I'm just not seeing it. And today, it seems like I found another reason why. So today, I saw an article on Edmunds that I had to show you guys because it confirms what I've been saying. So, in the last quarter of 2024, 1 in 5 customers committed to paying $1,000 or more in monthly payments. That doesn't even include insurance. When you add that in, it's probably 1 in 4. I've included the link in the description if you want to take a look for yourselves. But at the end of the day, that's insane. And the end of the year is supposed to be the best time to buy a car, according to a lot of the experts. Yet customers who buy cars around that time end up with the highest payments. Which leads me to another thing I noticed. The end of year deals are not what they used to be. Maybe they never were what experts cracked them up to be. But nowadays, it's definitely not the case. Unless you're a good negotiator, you're going to overpay. But regardless, this is another reality check for people thinking there is a crash or even a correction coming soon. How are we going to have a crash when car payments are going up and the auto industry as a whole is having its best sales year since 2019? It's not going to happen. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. A big reason for this is something I mentioned numerous times, the used car market.
Just when the used car market was getting revved up, there are now heightened concerns that another vehicle inventory slowdown could be just around the corner. And that could have an impact on how much you pay for a used car.
People cannot stomach the overpriced crap in the used market. Guys, whenever I look at used car listings, I genuinely get baffled by what I see. I'm talking about close to 200,000 mileage cars over 10 years old that are being listed for around $20,000. And these aren't Toyotas and Hondas. If you are lucky enough to find any of those, they'll be over 20 years old and 250,000 miles for the same price. Unfortunately, the used market is pretty much overpriced crap all across the board. It's going to take years for the used car market to recover from the pandemic shortages, but for now, demand is still high and supply is low, and a lot of dealers are making a lot of money in their used car sales. They also go online to scoop up a lot of the used inventory from private sellers, and then mark them up 20 to 30% to earn massive profits. This is why a lot of these dealers are able to stay afloat even when they can't sell the new cars. I'm telling you guys, a game of chicken is being played out in the car market between greedy dealers and desperate customers. Can those customers manage without a car longer than those dealers can stay afloat? Well, so far, the answer is no. And those customers are ending up with these $1,000 monthly payments. So, for those of you guys who watch other car market channels, I'm sure some of you have been hearing rumors about Stellantis, the parent company of Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, potentially cutting down prices by 35% for 2025. This is the big rumor a lot of people are pointing to show a car market crash is on the horizon. Honestly, though, I'd have to actually see it to believe it. What you guys have to understand is other automakers had enough common sense to know that charging higher prices does not work if you're pumping out more volume at the same time. Stellantis, however, let greed get in the way of common sense. They wanted to have their cake, eat it too, and then have even more cake on their plate after they just ate it. Well, now they see their plate is empty and they're getting pretty hungry. But guys, you have to put things in perspective. Their sales were down 15%, just 15%. The car market as a whole was back to 2019 levels in 2024. Stellantis was the outlier. They don't need anything drastic. They just need to use common sense and not be the most overpriced and have the highest volume at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and say there won't be a 35% drop in prices from Stellantis anytime soon. Something like a 10% drop in prices with reduced production could be more likely. I hope I'm wrong, and they do actually cut by 35%. That would certainly smack this market back to reasonable prices. But I'd have to see it to believe it. Now, I want to share a bit more of my experiences to show you guys what I'm seeing. 3 weeks ago, I went to a local Honda dealer to make an offer on a CR-V. I knew it was a long shot, and they basically shot me down on the spot. No negotiation, no budging, nothing. Fast forward to this week, they call me back, all eager, like, "Hey, come on in, we'd love to talk." But here's the kicker. I hop onto their site and see their current year CRVs marked up by $2,500, and that's before add-ons. When you factor in everything, it's closer to $4,000 above the MSRP. They can play that game because they're not desperate. They've already sold all their 2024 models, and for the 2025s, they mark them up, essentially pricing out most of their customers, and then go on to aggressively go after the few people who can actually pay those inflated prices. Dealers can do this because they know the used car market isn't offering any better deals, so the average customer ends up stuck in this cycle of paying way more than a car is really worth. It's a bad situation all around. So ultimately, guys, these high car payments Edmunds is reporting don't really surprise me, and it's further proof that high car prices are here to stay. Unless the Stellantis rumor pans out, I don't see them coming down. The market dynamics, given the used car shortage, is just not good for us customers. But at the end of the day, you guys have to do your research. Look for the few dealers that are struggling, because there will be some in this environment, but it may mean you have to wait weeks, even months, and maybe even make a long drive to another town. It is what it is, but that's what you have to do to get a deal. Remember, the more people cave in to these high prices, the more leverage dealers have to keep the costs sky high. If you're in the market for a car, do your research, shop around, and never be afraid to walk away if it doesn't feel right. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Drive safe, everyone.